Alright, so we are at the gas station again with this thirsty truck, and I'm going to talk about the issues with the transmission of the Ram 2500 with the 6.4 liter Hemi. It's got a 66 RFE 6-speed automatic transmission. It is, I would say it shifts good. It's not crazy hard on the shifts and everything like that, but drivability is great. But at around 30,000 miles, maybe a little less than that, I had an issue, and I was driving home from work, and the truck, it slipped into like downshifting going up a hill, and I guess that could be an issue with, you know, not having a diesel truck. Is, you know, the truck downshifts a lot under a load, or even not under a load, just driving period, whether you give it a little more gas and try to go around somebody or anything like that. So anyways, the transmission slipped. It threw a code, and when I got home, I looked the code up on the scanner, and it was gear 5 ratio incorrect. So basically, the diagnostic chart, a shift solenoid was going out. So I brought it to the dealer, and I'll tell you what happened in just a sec. I gotta go get my receipt for the gas, and then we will continue. Back to the topic. So I bring the truck to the dealer, and I tell them what's going on with it, exactly like what speed, you know, what, you know, going up a hill, everything, under a load, slipped, whatever. It only happened once, but they told me it was going to take like 2 weeks to troubleshoot, and I was like, man, that's weird, but whatever. Just fix my truck, you know, pretty much. And so 3 days later, 2 or 3 days after the fact, they called me up and said, hey, your truck's ready to get picked up. Alright. So I go there and pick it up. They tell me, oh, your truck was low on transmission fluid. Low on transmission fluid? That's a little odd. I mean, that was the first thing I checked, but okay, it's a new truck. Maybe it just had a little glitch in the system. I don't know, but whatever. So throughout maybe the course of 3 or 4 weeks, that code came back several amount of times, like just on and off. It would come and go. It would be on, it would be inactive, it would be active, inactive. So, you know, I was like, well, whatever, the truck's still under warranty, the dealership isn't gonna fix it, so fuck it. So I'm on vacation like 5-6 weeks later, and you know, I live in Maryland, and I was up in New Hampshire, and I'm on the highway up there, and it throws the code, and this time it actually like had a really bad slip, like the truck jerked and everything, and it was really predominant. And then the truck went into like 5th gear. It was, you know, it lost 6th gear, just completely just would not go into overdrive. And then shortly after that, it lost 5th gear and it just stayed in 4th gear. So it was pretty much in a limp mode at that point. I And, you know, I told him, hey, my transmission is pretty much toast now. And you guys told me that it was good and whatever, what have you. So, I was pretty much, you know, at a loss. And I told him, you know, whatever. So what they did was, they found the closest dealership to where I was at. I took it there, and they got in touch with the dealership that I brought it to, and they paid for the rental car. They paid for, well, I mean, obviously it was under warranty, so I didn't pay for anything. They paid for everything. And the only issue that I had after the fact was that they wanted to charge me $350 for having to cut and re-weld my exhaust back up to the truck. And, you know, I thought that was kind of funny. And I look underneath my truck and I was like, they didn't cut anything. I mean, everything's the way it was originally. So I asked the service manager about it, and I was like, hey man, what's up with this? Why am I being charged this $300 something for something that obviously didn't get done? Because on my exhaust that I have installed, I painted it, all the piping and everything, because it's the aluminized metal, and I didn't, you know, I want to protect it from like all the environment, weather, you know, salt and stuff in the wintertime and everything, and I want to make it last as long as I can. So that's why I have it painted, and it looks nice. So I told him, hey, it's obviously not cut, it's not re-welded. I mean, there's exhaust clamps, there's no welds, and you would have had it done the same thing if it was the factory exhaust. So they go out there, they look at it, they're like, oh yeah, that didn't get done. So they wanted to knock it down, like they took like $100 off. Oh, well, we'll only charge you $200. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, so after about another like 20 minutes of arguing with them, the manager came out and actually just took the whole bill and ripped it up and said, don't worry about it. They gave me a copy of the ticket of them fixing replaced the transmission, and that was that. I guess they were gonna try and rebuild the transmission, but I had talked to them before that, and I told them that that just wasn't gonna slide, because I got a long trip back to Maryland, and if something goes wrong with the rebuild, I don't want to be up shit's creek without a paddle. If the rebuild goes bad and I'm stuck on the side of the road in the middle of the night or whatever. So that was that. And so pretty much they replaced it, no problem. They said that the overdrive clutches were smoked, and that a lot of the internals in there actually were just shot. They couldn't reuse anything, so they were going to end up having to replace it anyways. So, but that's the issue that I had with this transmission. That happened around, like I said, 30,000 miles, and it lasted probably, I would say, about 1,500 miles from the time the code initially happened to actually just taking a shit. I have now, let's see, 75,000, almost 76,000 miles on it now. So it got replaced, around 32,000 miles. So, well, I'm not a math major, so I can't tell you the difference. Maybe 44,000 miles now it's lasted, and it's not a problem. I haven't had any problems. It's still shifts like brand new, and well, that was it. And that was the only issue that I've had with the transmission. So, but anyways, let me know what you guys think, and if you've had similar issues or anything like that, leave a comment down below. I'm real interested to hear what other experiences that you guys may have had. And if it's your first time watching one of my videos, please subscribe, and have a good day.